Hello learners and welcome back to your own channel LIY English Learn It Yourself. Today we are going to learn the last poem in the 11th class English textbook, which is 2.6, titled as The Planners, written by Boey Kim Cheng. I have already uploaded the videos on all the poems of class 11th English on my channel. The link of the playlist of those videos will be given in the description box. We'll read and understand the poem line by line, and the explanation in this video will be in English. However, I will also upload another video on this poem with Hindi explanation. So you can watch whichever video you prefer, but if you have to listen to me, watch both of them. Now without wasting our time anymore, let's start our video. First, we'll learn about the poet Boey Kim Cheng. Boey was born in 1965 in Singapore. In 1997, he left Singapore and came to Sydney and became an Australian citizen. He has published 4 collections of poetry, and for his contribution and artistic achievements, he received the National Arts Council Young Artist Award in 1996. He taught for 13 years at the University of Newcastle in Australia. In 2016, he joined Nanyang Technological University as an associate professor at its School of Humanities and is currently head of English department. He is the co-editor of the anthology Contemporary Asian Australian Poets, published in 2014. Boey's works are highly regarded by both the academic and writing communities in Singapore. Now let's look at the central idea of the poem, The Planners. As we can assume from the title itself, the poem is about the planners, and to be specific, the city planners. In this poem, Boey is talking about fast developing modern Singapore. But if we closely analyze, we will be able to relate to it as well, as we have also seen and been part of modernization and urbanization. Boey talks about how the city planners plan and build everything, and because of their actions, how the places are losing their uniqueness and their historical heritage. And finally, the poet depicts how this urbanization has affected him, that it has numbed him. The poem is written in a free verse, which is suitable to the free expression of the poet's feelings. Now let's read the poem line by line and try to understand them in detail. And you can see the meanings of the difficult words are given below, which you can refer. Now let's start. They plan, they built, all spaces are gridded, filled with permutations of possibilities. The buildings are in alignment with the roads which meet at desired points, linked by bridges all hang in the grace of mathematics. They build and will not stop. Even the sea draws back and the skies surrender. So from the first line itself, poet talks about the planners when he refers to them by saying they plan, they build. We can see how poet has used such short sentences consisting of only 2 words. He says they plan, they build. Poet is trying to describe the lack of empathy and consideration in behalf of these planners who don't care about nature or anything else. They simply create. They plan and they build the structures. They focus on filling up the empty spaces of the land with many kinds of structures and many kinds of possibilities. And they are very mathematical in their approach too. They construct buildings that line up with roads that link with bridges. They are built perfectly and mathematically. Poet says that they keep on building the structures and they never stop. Even the nature has bowed down in front of these planners. Even the nature has given up and surrendered in front of these planners, but they never stop. The sea draws back due to the increasing reclamation of land, and in front of these huge skyscrapers, in front of these huge tall buildings and structures, the skies seem to have surrendered. In short, the nature has given up, but these planners don't stop. They keep on building mathematically. Now let's look at the second stanza. They erase the flaws, the blemishes of the past, knock off useless blocks with dental dexterity. All gaps are plugged with gleaming gold. The country wears perfect rows of shining teeth. In the second stanza, poet says that these planners erase the flaws, the blemishes of the past. He is pointing out the increasing demolition of old structures. They are demolishing the structures of the past and rebuilding new structures on them. To describe this, poet has compared these planners with the dentist. How the dentist removes the flaws from our teeth. Similarly, these planners remove anything they find not attractive or shiny or modern enough. Because of their skills, it feels now that the country is wearing perfect rows of shining teeth. Anesthesia, amnesia, hypnosis. They have the means. They have it all, so it will not hurt. So history is new again. The piling will not stop. The drilling goes right through the fossils of last century. Now in this stanza, poet talks about how these planners accomplish their task. He says that they have the means, they have it all. These phrases also suggest that these planners are very powerful. They have all the means through which they achieve their task or their goals. He says that these people use anesthesia, amnesia, and hypnosis. Now we know that with the use of these things, with the use of these drugs, anesthesia, amnesia, we lose our sense of feel. We don't feel any pain, and they are generally given by the doctors to the patient, especially before they are planning to operate on the patient. So similarly, these planners give the citizen, basically give us anesthesia, amnesia. Now what are these anesthesia and amnesia? These are the facilities that are provided by them, urban facilities, things that we get in an urban area, all the luxuries, all the facilities that are provided by these planners in the urban area, all the grandeur that we see in their work, because of which we don't realize what we are losing or what we have lost. So that's how planners work. They are erasing the past heritage and creating a new history. They keep building things. This piling up does not stop, and they drill carelessly through the fossils of the last century. In short, they are damaging our history. But my heart would not bleed poetry, not a single drop, to stain the blueprint of our past tomorrow. And in the final stanza, poet describes his feelings about all this. He describes his pain and helplessness. He says that this fast development and urbanization has numbed his heart. He is unable to feel any emotion. He says that he is not going to write anything regarding this anymore. Now, he may also mean to point out that how this modernization and urbanization is killing his creativity and his mind, that he does not feel inspired by anything anymore to write about it. That is why maybe he finishes off this poem saying that his heart would not bleed poetry anymore. So this poem ends on this depressing and sad note. Now let us quickly summarize whatever we have learned in this poem. So as we learned, the poem is about the planners, people who are behind this fast-paced urbanization. In the first two stanzas of the poem, we saw how the poet talks about the works that these planners do. Then in the coming stanza, he talks about how they perform their task, how they achieve their goals. And finally, towards the end of the poem, poet talks about the effects of their works on the identity and history of a city. And he also talks about how this urbanization has affected him personally, that it has numbed his heart, and we see how the poem successfully manages to throw light on the harsh realities of modernization and urbanization. So that's it for this video. We'll conclude here, and I hope that you understood and enjoyed learning with me. If you did, give this video a thumbs up, share among your friends and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much.